record. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another conversation with what I feel are extraordinary, ordinary people, extraordinary, ordinary spiritual people. I don't know if that will be the name of these conversations, but I'm trying to figure it out. Anyway, today we are speaking with the beautiful Corrinda, and I've known Corrinda for what? Gosh, it's been almost exactly a year now. And I would say I've known of her. We've been in a collaboration for a year. And so, but I'm just now getting to know her. And what I like to do in the beginning of these interviews is to share my perspective and my feelings and my observations of the people that I know that I'm interviewing. So for me, so that you can get a taste of how I feel about Corrinda. Like the most obvious thing is beauty. But of course, like everyone says, and in this case, it's absolutely true, Corrinda's beauty goes all the way down to the marrow, the bone marrow, into her essence. And I know saying someone is beautiful inside and out is kind of trite, but with Corrinda, she brings beauty wherever she goes, and she beautifies every environment. I mean, just look at her beautiful home, and just wherever she shows up, she brings beauty. And to me, this is quite a gift. Okay. And it makes other people, myself included, want to be more beautiful and feel and recognize my own beauty. So for that, I thank you, Corrinda. And I'm sure you're going to see her beauty. And other things that I feel about Corrinda is she always exudes positivity, light, poise, and grace, and perfection. And not that she's perfect or has this thing about trying to be perfect, but that she brings and strives to bring perfection in everything she does. So, and I think that goes wrong. She's beautiful. She brings beautiful perfection everywhere she goes. So that's what I love about Corrinda. And because she likes using emojis so much, I would definitely describe her as absolutely cherry blossom, Japanese cherry blossom, because that is her favorite flower, a rainbow and a sparkle. So with all that said, my long drawn out introduction, you can tell I don't really like Corrinda. Let's get to know Corrinda. And my first question is going to be, if you were writing a book about your life, what would the title of your journey be? If you don't have one, that's totally okay. I mean, I know I kind of put people on the spot with that, but and it's totally okay. You could use a word or whatever.
Well, firstly, thank you so much for highlighting how you see me, because I kind of find it difficult to see myself as the way other people see me. So I do need that reflection to see the beauty that I bring, because for me, it's kind of natural. It's something that you just do and am or be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you for that. And wow, a name for a book of my life. Well, I've thought about it, and the first thing that came to mind was like the child that came from the moon. And I don't know why, but I guess it has to do with one of my younger memories, that when I was a little girl, I would always look up to the moon. I was fascinated by the moon, and I was drawing it when I should be sleeping. And then I would draw all the dark spots, and every time anew, because I wanted to know, did the moon change? Did it change its face? Did it turn? I don't know why. Now I know it doesn't, but I didn't know that back then. So I was like, it looks the same each time. And also because, as a young child, I always had this feeling, and I know many others have that too, is that they didn't feel at home here on Earth. I was like, who am I? What is this? Why am I here?
Wow.
Yeah. So
that story just gave me chills. I feel the total authenticity of that. I think there is something there. Maybe not that you're from the moon, but there's some archetypal moon energy. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. And so, wow, that just takes us into the whole time, like how you have to just share some of your bio. I mean, I guess this whole spiritual journey thing, even unconsciously, was all started. Well, I know a little bit of your story. I mean, it started at 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, tell us about that. I mean, it's an
Yeah.
amazing story.
Yeah. For me, I'll first start sharing. Well, when I was just 2 weeks old, they brought me to the hospital because all my skin started to loosen. So they brought me to the hospital and asked the doctor, what's the problem? And first the doctor said, just put some Vaseline on it. It's just dry. And then 2 days later, a lot of came off. So my parents went to the hospital again. And then I had some kind of disease that doesn't exist anymore. But so for 2 days, no, yeah, I believe 2 or 3 days. And the third day, they said to my parents, do you want to be there when she is leaving? So I was about to die. And luckily for me and my parents is that there was this young student doctor who was writing a sort of, I don't know how you call it in English, but it's like a
A doctor.
essay. Yeah, yes, an essay, something like
Yeah.
that. And it was about a disease that wasn't really known yet of what to do with it or how to treat it. And so the doctor said, we can do two things. And they chose the thing that the doctor who was writing the essay prescribed, and that saved me. Yeah,
It wasn't the same disease?
it was the same disease as he was doing in his
Wow. I
essay.
mean,
So
what are the chances of him writing a paper on a disease that's no longer in existence?
well, it's now no longer in existence, but then it was kind of a new thing, and they called it like a disease that was most present in wars. So yeah.
That's
Yeah.
shocking to me. I didn't know that. Wow. But it sounds, when you were talking and you said it's not present anymore, I feel like you were like an ancestral carrier of something to bring that through to kind of wipe it out for us.
Because of me, they had a cure.
Yeah.
I never thought of that, but now you say that, I go like, yeah.
Yeah, I could just feel how you carried that genetic, because somewhere in your subtle body, your etheric body, you had that from probably millions of years or thousands or maybe hundreds of years from another life. You've carried that in and you've healed that for us. So thank you very much. I don't want my skin falling off. So
No. The funny thing is that they shared when they did the treatment. How do you say that when the skin grows back? If you have a wound, it grows. What's it called in English?
A keloid? No.
Oh,
Scar?
never mind. Yeah, something like that. You get crusts. We call it
scab.
Yeah, scab. Yeah. So yeah, that's when they knew it worked. And maybe it's not relevant, but I would like to share is what I feel for my whole journey up till now. Even is that I was crying all the time because I had pain. I don't remember it consciously, but my parents told me, and that the only moments I was quiet was when they gave me just like this little bit of milk to feed me, and food has been like some kind of signal for me. So each time I get really tired or go beyond my boundaries, I have to eat.
Look at that. Wow. Wow. And do you stick with a little drop of milk? No, it's just a little bit of nourishment.
Yeah, most of the time when it's really like, oh my gosh, I need something. It's not healthy, but it's a soft white bread with cheese.
Oh, I love it.
And it always suits me out.
I love that because you know what? I had something similar last night, and there's just something about it's just so
He's in a
comforting.
sandwich.
Yeah, it is so comforting. comforting.
but with a glass of milk. That is the most perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, the sweet little baby. So, okay, continue with your story. Like how, because you looking at the moon, having this experience has had to, you were already questioning life and seeking.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And
As a young child, I was always thinking about those big questions. And when I asked my father about these questions, he said, "Oh, you're too young to think about those questions." So I never got the answer. And I was having dreams, huge dreams, dreams I feel like a little girl should not have, like really deep nightmares,
oh,
and about things I could not know. So about war. I even remember one dream I could taste blood and smell it. So yeah, and later on, when I was a little bit older, I also had like kind of prophetic dreams. And yeah, that scared me a little bit, you know, and I was seeing things. I was seeing things in the dark, always scared in the dark. Not anymore, but then I was, because I did not know what it was. But I guess it was something kind of to now remember me, because at some point life took over, you know, the mundane thing.
yeah,
And you
absolutely.
just go about your business, and then somehow the spiritual gets back, and then you remember all those things from the past, like, okay, it's always been there, that extra sensory, or yeah, like astral traveling I also had. I didn't know what it was. And at one day, I believe I was like 15 or 16, we had a conversation with my parents, and my sister was there, and I just shared it because I felt like it's important. You know, what is it? Do you have it too? And then my father and my sister had to admit that they had the same experiences, but they never shared it. And my grandfather, so the father of my father shared it with me on that day, is that my grandfather had several moments that he was so deep asleep that he started talking like Chinese, Russian, all kinds of languages. And then my grandmother would call my father and his brother uh, to go like, what's going on? Is he okay? You know, they couldn't wake him up or anything. And then he woke up at some point and he said like, what are you doing here? You know, he didn't remember anything. So
Corrinda,
yeah.
I'm going to have to get a blanket because you're just giving me chills. Like I'm, it's a constant chill factory over here. These stories, I haven't heard. These are so unbelievable and I love them. And it's interesting that a couple of things, that this is going through the male lineage.
Yeah.
This, yeah, it's very interesting. You don't often hear that. You hear it in the female lineage. So very interesting. And wow, I did not know your roots were this deep. And I would say with the intensity of your experiences, the dreams, the astral travel, you came in with, because many people, you came in with already an aroused or semi-released Kundalini. So it's already there, because when we, not to make this about me, but in case somebody else is experiencing something like this, but you know, when you have that light, Kundalini, that light is awakened, it draws in lots of sometimes negative, so negative experiences and little beings that want to kind of take, you know, anyway, and the fact that you were aware of it. So I think that's beautiful. I just wanted to confirm that for you. Anyway, so keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, no. It's important
Yeah.
because I think you just touched here for people who are watching this. If
Yeah.
you have children, please be open for them to share these experiences, because I can remember you brought in the Kundalini, and yes, I didn't know what that was. For me, it was in the dream almost that I needed to go pee or something. You know, it was kind of a arousal that I did not understand.
Yeah,
You know, I
that's
didn't
it.
know. I was like
Yeah.
maybe 6, 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about arousal. It was just kind of this feeling that was like, where do I need to go to put it, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you have a released Kundalini. Okay, you've just confirmed this for me. And people, by the way, we talk on the side about this. So that's wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, when I got older, and I became more aware of it, yeah, then you start to know why it's there, how you can use it, or what you need to do with it, and why
Yeah.
it's for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that all came later. Yeah.
And so okay, along your journey, well, you're a teenager, then 20s, and like everyone else, all that you have to get into your little karma, and everything kind of goes to sleep so you can experience. Sorry about that. I need to turn my phone off. Anyway, so just continue with your story because this is so fascinating. I have to hear everything.
Well, yeah, where can I start? I was always a very sensitive girl in a way that I didn't understand why people were the way they were. I was bullied. I was beaten by other kids. I was always like the black sheep, maybe you can call it like that. I was always different. And yeah, I looked different. I looked very different than I look now. Yeah, how can I describe that? As a child, I was chubby. I was a happy kid. My father called me the sun in the house, but that changed at some point. But okay, that was my pure essence. And I guess now, when I look back, I think that people maybe the children couldn't handle maybe the light that I truly
Absolutely.
am.
100%. Authenticity is very challenging and makes other people feel very insecure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that at some point, when I was in my 30s, I worked in the beauty industry, and so I had some customers who were formerly the children from my school and from my class, and they said like, "Oh, you have become so beautiful," and blah blah blah. And then I said, "I was always beautiful, but you just didn't see it."
Oh,
I just said it.
And did they go, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, no, they apologized.
That's
They
beautiful.
apologized. Yeah, it was like I had some really healing encounters there. It was
Wow.
beautiful that these people came and I could show like, you bullied me and you slapped me, but look at me now.
Wow. You know what? And that's one of the other things I forgot to mention how I feel. Your self-assurance, your self-confidence and strength. I mean, in the face of adversity, I would have I would have like crumpled up inside myself. And then like 3 hours later, I would have thought of all the comebacks I could have said to somebody. But you did it right in the moment, and it's so perfect when it's authentic instead of, anyway, it's perfect.
Yeah, I didn't do it back then because I just felt different. And I kind of convinced myself even that I was the way that they said that how they saw me and who I was. So I always felt like dumb, fat, ugly, you know. But when I look back, I do feel it was necessary for me to grow. Yeah. Because if that didn't happen, I wasn't driven to become the person that I wanted to be.
Right, right. And we always have to look at those experiences as, well, what samskaras or impressions did I bring in that my subtle body is holding, that it's kind of reflecting back to me. Yeah.
How could I bring in beauty if I didn't know ugly?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Okay. I know there's more. There's always more. Keep going. This is just wonderful.
Oh yeah. It's pretty hard to give a timestamp on my experiences. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's also because it was a good thing when you asked me to do this interview, to have this conversation, because I had to admit that I had suppressed a lot of my past because of the pain.
Okay.
Even though I see the beauty of all of it, I really do. I really do. I don't blame anybody. I see everybody as a character in my story, in my growth. Yeah. But I had kind of suppressed all the experiences because of that, because of the bullying and stuff, because it up until I was 18, I went off of my schools and was done with my educations in schools. Up till then, they bullied me for being different. Yeah, I always dressed different. I was always kind of ahead with the fashion, and they go like, "Oh, this color is so good," and then a year later, they would walk with those colors, you know.
Let me ask you that. Going back, you said you suppressed those experiences. Did you also notice that perhaps there's some suppression of the feelings? Do you still kind of feel?
No, I did for a long time. And then I did in the Gene Keys, the Venus sequence, and I did it twice. And that's where you really go into your childhood and the wounding there.
Yeah.
And I released a lot of grief and shame, and maybe even some hatred,
Absolutely.
blaming and everything. But now it was just because I am past that. I am not my past. So I kind of feel like I have a whole another life now. So why look back?
Right.
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 But sometimes it's good to remember, because now by sharing, I could maybe assist others, you know, and serve by just my story. Yeah.
I'm getting a little feedback. Do you hear it when I speak? I can hear myself echoing. So
No.
do you have me very loud over there? Sorry folks, I hear it if you hear it. Now I don't hear it.
Okay, I put it my volume a little bit down.
Okay. Where was I going with this? Totally forgot. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Sorry about that.
No problem. I know how it goes.
We're having one of those moments in the interviews that you wish would never happen. Anyway, well, that brings us to we can take a side route here. And healing all of these things. And I know you have other things in your life story that you definitely had to heal from. You can speak about those, or you can go and talk about, how you discovered, because I don't know, how did you discover Gene Keys, human design, all the tools, and the particular other group that you're involved with? How did you find all that? How did you end up on the spiritual journey? Or you can go back to more of your kind of what led.
That's enough drama.
I know.
I want to bring the happy stuff.
Okay. No bypassing though.
No. No, well, because in 2017, I went into a burnout, and yeah, we can talk about that later, how I got there.
Yeah.
But that's when I really was pointed back inwards, like my body gave up, and I needed really to reflect back. Okay, what I have, with everything that I've went through, I just went going, and never taking the time to grieve or to release any emotions, because there was no time, there was no space, there was no moment to do that, because of all the stress situations that I went through all those years before. So my body kind of said, it's enough. It is time to go inwards. And who is Corrinda? And how does she want to proceed with her life? What does she want? And yeah, I'm so grateful that I had this burnout. It was kind of scary at the moment, because I can remember a moment where I was so lost that I had just gone with the car and driven somewhere, and had to call my husband, like, I don't know if I can get back. I can't even explain how I felt, but I was kind of losing my mind.
Yeah.
I was on the brink of going insane.
Like madness. Yeah.
Madness. Yeah.
All the circuits were short circuiting. I have experienced something like, and the fear, did you just feel, I felt this overwhelming, and I don't want to take away from your story. I'm just sharing that when you hit like the burnout stage, it's like your brain is misfiring. And I didn't recognize, didn't recognize where you were at. I don't know where to get. I can't even tell what is north right now. No. It's a horrible feeling. So you had it like in an extreme. I know that. And wow.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was, but somehow I got this enough to get me home.
Whew.
And then I went into that absolute madness, like error everywhere in my body and my brain and everything in my whole being. And then what my husband did is he held me, because I was going like, I was still like, I wanted to scratch things. I wanted to pull everything apart. I just needed to release. And I did not know how. And then he just held me really tight. And then I can't explain it, but it was like, poof, this ease, this peace came over me, like this brightening moment. I don't know otherwise how to explain it. And what I saw was my higher self and my baby self. And then my higher self said to the baby, come to me. I see you. I love you. You don't have to do this alone. Let's do it together.
Yeah.
And that's when it's all, it kind of floated away, and I was totally at ease and peace. And yeah, it was, yeah. It was kind of my big awakening moments. Absolutely. I feel, because the days after and the weeks after, I had multiple kind of these experiences in another way. One of them was I went to sleep one night, and in my astral travel or lucid dream, however you want to call it, I stood in this golden light and I saw this kind of Buddha face, and the Buddha said to me, "You are God." And I woke up and I was like, yeah, I am. And I can remember that I went into my other room. I had a room with my clothes and my makeup and stuff. And I looked into the mirror and I just started crying. And not out of grief or sadness, but out of the love. There came this love over me. Like we've talked about it, is the universal love. I don't know, godly love, but love.
Yeah.
And I just cried and cried and cried. So out of the beauty that it was. And that's how my journey started to all of where I am now. Because then I found YouTube. I don't know why, I don't know how. I was never on YouTube, not anything. I went on YouTube, and the first video that came to me was about frequency, about Tesla, about Reich and all the others. And I was like, yeah, that's it. Everything is frequency. Everything is light and sound and frequency. And somehow YouTube was my godly channel. Mm-hmm. Because even before I could start asking a question, a video already came to me, and I was like, oh, that was my question. That was my next step.
Our higher self and our little helpers are like, thank God they got the internet. Now we can just point them to a YouTube.
Exactly. Oh. And it was really the time, because of that awakening, that I needed to go back to my interests, and which was the spiritual stuff. Who am I? Where do I come from? What is the purpose of life? And how do I fit in? And what's beyond just the mundane thing, working hard and getting a burnout and having all these dramas into our lives? What's the reason for all that? And then I came across James Seven Bomar, who is my spiritual teacher, and not a guru, but mentor. Yeah. And I followed him on YouTube. And then at one moment he had a live. And so they had this panel with all these wise people. And I was sending in the chat like, what was something about, I don't know even where it was about, but I responded with my biggest wound or my biggest fear, or I don't know how to call it, but I said, I still have that feeling that I'm not welcome. Yeah. And that I'm too much and I don't feel loved and not accepted. And the beautiful thing was that his name is Isaac Williams. I will never forget him. He said, I want to take this next question. And he said, because it feels personal to me. And he said straight into the camera, you are so welcome. And I love you. and something more, but that was the most important thing. And I was like talking to my husband because it was late because it's American time and I'm from the Netherlands. So I went, I want to be in that community because this secret energy community, what's it called? Yeah, have this community where they talk about all the spiritual stuff. My mentor just connects all the dots from history, religion, spirituality, but also the, you know, the hygiene of all the bodies.
Nice.
Everything. I can't even like find the words to explain what he does, but he just really actually connects every dot. And that's how I came into a secret energy tribe, and where I had all my teachings, all my answers I came to all my answers. And then he lives in Costa Rica. So 1 year later, I went to Costa Rica. I said to my husband, I want to go there, because they were gathering together in Costa Rica all over the world. They would come to Costa Rica and meet each other for real. And I was like, I have to do this. And luckily, my husband supports me in everything that I want in this. And it was so beautiful. I can remember it on this green hill where we all gathered. And I came in late because of a friend of mine who's not my friend anymore after that. But okay, I came in late. Yeah. I came in late, and they were all, we were all wearing white, and they were all standing in a circle. And I came in late, but they saw me, and I just walked, you know, towards them, and I was crying. And then I came in the circle, and we all hold hands, and I said, I just, you know, it's like I found my long lost family. And then some next to me, everybody said like, yeah, we feel the same way. So everybody was crying.
I love
That was so amazing. Yeah. So then I met a brother who was into human design, and he showed me that. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is the answer, the next answer I was looking for. This contains the part of who am I and why am I here?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it, what a story. Just one or two things I want to just bring out from your story. Particularly just the part about having support. You know, first of all, anybody who's venturing on the spiritual journey, I mean, I guess it's kind of part of Maslow's hierarchy. Before you can really dive into this journey, you have to make sure your safety and support system is solid, because it kind of takes the life out of you in some circumstance. I mean, you'll be put through the mill a little bit. And so it's so important. But when I see people like myself, who just somehow landed in a relationship where the opportunity to where someone is so supportive for you to do whatever you want, kind of thing, you know, on the spiritual journey, and totally say, you want to go there? Yes, I'll go with you. You go, you do whatever you want. That just tells me the divineness of your incarnation. You were always meant to do this, and the universe absolutely provided a platform for you. And your husband, I mean, what can we say? Thank you.
Yeah, what can we say?
You. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. Okay. So I know there's more. I mean, I'm just sitting over here constantly with, you know, chicken goose skin here with chills. I love your story. So keep going.
Well, the beauty is that when I found human design in my tribe, you know, my husband wasn't in all of this stuff. He was raised with Christianity, and he said goodbye to that because in his school, he was made afraid of thunder and lightning, and God will punish you, you know, like this strict school. So he said goodbye to everything that had to do with religion and some kind of God. And so I came in like, yeah, but you are God. God is not out there. God is inside of you. You are a part of the fractal, you know. And it was like, yeah. So that took us like a few years to get him to understand where I was coming from, and to see that it is validated some kind, or that it's real, or that it's, you know, or whatever is real.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also knowing our designs that really helped us to keep the relationship, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I had things he didn't like and he had things I didn't like, and I took it personally. And when I saw his chart, I was like, okay, he can't help himself. That's just the way he's wired.
I'm perfect, but he can't help himself. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I know,
I saw now where my needs to do things like the creative stuff. I was in the beginning, I was changing the rooms all the time, everywhere. And he's like this structured person who wants to have the cup over here and the knives and forks over there. And I was like, yeah, changing everything. So with my human design, I knew that it was the creative side that needed another outlet.
Yeah.
So that's when I started painting, but that's another story.
Yeah, I know. I forgot to mention that. Another paint. I mean, is there anything this girl can't do? Yeah. You can see in the background those beautiful paintings. I love this.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, and the funny thing in human design, it's the jack of all trades. So no, I'm not perfect at one thing. I can do a lot of things, but I'm not perfect at one thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and because my interest is so broad, I see it really as a gift that I am able to pick a little bit over here and do a little bit of this and that, while I was raised to do, focus on one thing and accelerate in that and be a master of it. And I'm now kind of feeling I am just a master of me, I just have to go with my flow.
And you have, I just lost my train of thought. Well, and you have an ability, you absorb stuff very well, so that you have, despite your breakdown, your brain functioning is quite good. Both sides seem to be functioning quite well, that you absorb and can regurgitate the information out. Yeah, it's all different kinds. I love it. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
it's the thing we worked on in Secret Energy, to like bridge the gap between the left and the right brain, because they're both important.
Absolutely.
And maybe I'm blessed also with the right brain and the left brain perspective, because I absorb everything, and then it takes a little bit of time, and then I can bring it back to logic.
Right.
And that's really working together. And when I also started with the breathing techniques, meditation and everything, that even the spiritual experiences became more, the astral traveling became more intense, in which I can control what I want to see, where I want to go. Sometimes I know that I'm there and don't want to change anything, but just want to, observe and then take back, reflect back. Why was this dream this? What is it telling me? But also some dreams that I didn't understand, because I went to the future and back.
You have to share. If you feel like sharing, you have to share any of this.
Yeah, well, it's hard to explain because it has been a few years, these kinds of dreams. And I've written them all, a lot of them out, but I don't have them right here because you kind of forget. Yeah. But they were kind of bringing me messages, but also showing me that you're not just this person now. I am now this, but there's more, and we are always changing energy. So I'm conscious in this life now, but it was showing me, the other side of things. Yeah.
Interesting. So did you experience your future self, or the collective future, or?
No, I had a part in it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Want to share, or we'll just leave it at that, everyone. That
maybe next time.
We'll have a follow-up interview.
Yeah.
Well, see, we'll go through a little bit more destruction, and then we'll bring Corrinda on, and hopefully we'll have some good news. No,
I can go back to my notes that I have from the past in those dreams, and then I can really bring it in.
I know, it's really interesting when you have experiences like those. It's very difficult to remember highly transcendental spiritual experiences, because they don't happen in time. It's in time, and the brain has a hard time holding on to them as a memory.
Yeah,
they're fleeting. Yeah,
Yeah,
because the mind
that's
is
why I
involved.
learned when you
Yeah,
wake up that you write down, or in my case,
yeah,
I just type them in my telephone because I sleep with frequencies ever since my burnout. And I type them out. And also, they say, I don't do that often, but if you drink a glass of water right after you had your dream, water contains memory.
right,
That's why you
right.
then for can remember your dreams better. Yeah. And these kinds of experiences. Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I also learned that when I went a little bit deeper into the Kundalini energy and the activation, then I started using it as a motor to lucid dream or to astral travel. And that was really, yeah, that's fun. It is fun when you are in control
It
and
is
know how
very
to
fun.
go
You can
about it.
absolutely play with Kundalini, but I also warn she's not meant for that. And I'm not saying this to you because I know you don't do that, but for anybody else out there who knows that you can, she will only let you play so far, and then she will say enough is enough because it's anyway. Okay. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
continue on.
Yeah.
I just have to
Well,
sit back here and drink my coffee. I'm,
oh, I wish I had. Give me some. Well, what else can I share?
Well, let me ask you this. What, in case any viewers are interested in sleeping with frequencies, what are the frequencies that you use? Do you?
Well, the funny thing is, I just do them randomly, kind of like I have these two channels that I trust.
Okay.
Because you are working with your brain waves. So it
Absolutely.
is important that you're not being fooled and not being used,
Yeah.
being programmed. So I use these two channels and they change their frequency. One is for like a DMT travel, or one is for astral travel. One is for relaxing the body. The other one is for healing the body.
Okay.
All kinds of subjects.
Yeah, I
You would
didn't
have
know
for
if you were
frequency.
using like a particular 528 or 428 or six
No,
particular, yeah. So,
whatever feels right.
okay.
I'm just before I go to sleep, I choose, and then I start listening the first minute, and I feel like, is this the one I need? And then if it feels like it's the one that I need, what result do I want? Then I use it. What does my body need? You know?
Nice. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so human design, soul tribe. Now, is Isaac the person part of soul tribe, or is he a separate?
No, he was part of Soul Tribe, and I believe in that we stay connected forever, always. Once you have connected,
Yeah.
and if I would text him, he would respond. But
Yeah.
he has left like I think 2 years now.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
but he still
yeah,
does his own teachings, or he's, in case
yeah.
anyone's interested in what he has to do. What is his name again?
Isaac Williams.
Williams. Okay,
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah, yeah.
Soul tribe. Yeah. Yeah, it's so wonderful to find your tribe. That, because yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
still
Well,
looking for my tribe. But
you can
actually,
join.
you're part of my tribe. I
Exactly.
already, Spirit already told me that. So thank you very much for being part of my tribe. Anyway, so I know that you've had more experiences with this soul tribe group. I don't know if you want to go there or talk about any more of the tools that you found particularly helpful in your journey, or where do you want to go?
Yeah. Well, first, I would like to share that it is so beautiful that I entered this community without knowing anybody, but when I came in, I felt really welcome and seen and heard
Yeah.
for just who you are. And even when the first time we saw each other for real, we all trusted each other. From the moment we laid eyes on each other, like there was no suspicion, no, like, who are you? It was total acceptance right there.
Wow.
And that for me is so wow. Like this year, I went back to Costa Rica again because of the 2 years we couldn't fly,
Okay.
and after that year, in 2020, I also went to Costa Rica. So it was my third time. So we had a meeting with the people that live in Costa Rica now. Some of them really live in Costa Rica now. And again, we hadn't seen each other for 2 years. And it was like meeting your family again and just having lovely conversations, having fun, having some serious talk, some catching up, swimming, eating together. Yeah. It's for me, it's kind of the family that I don't have in the flesh.
Right.
Well, I have family, but it's so different,
Yeah,
right?
different. Let me ask you this, because it's what I'm going to ask you is rather pertinent to something that we're involved with currently. What do you attribute to that trust that developed in that soul tribe? You were all in classes together. Like, how was it? Because it kept a small group. How did that trust develop between each of you?
Um, it's because of the foundation, because Seven Bomar is someone I trust, that I know on the background he holds space and he tunes into the energy that everybody brings in. And if somebody is not correct, he will be spoken
I
to.
see.
And, you know, to assist, to support them, because everybody comes into the journey with their own backpack. And how do you,
How will you fit? What are your intentions? What are your, I
yeah,
think that's brilliant. And it reminds me of uh, when there's a hazard spill and before you could go in anywhere, they got to spray you down with water. You got to decontaminate. And I think that's beautiful for a group to be very discerning about, what you're carrying, what projections do you have, what expectations, what are your motivations, because we want to keep this group really clean.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. And
no,
that just puts the whole tribe in total integrity rather than, yeah, everybody come on in. And then there's like this whirlwind of
and then you don't feel
unknown
safe.
energy and you can't feel, yeah, I totally, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think
I
that's
know that, and there was this back support, that when something went on, there was always somebody like correcting, kind of, but with in a loving
yeah,
way, you know,
absolutely.
because we don't want to exclude anybody, and everybody who is seeking is welcome. Only when you're seeking, um, you do have to hold the how do you say, the agreements, or
Yeah,
the yeah.
yeah,
But on the back end, it's not that you're just being pushed out when you don't align, you know, but they do the support. And on the background,
yeah,
you know, there are all these teachings that you go into, so they advise you go into this teaching because we
yeah.
are observing that you might have issues here, or you might have to work on this or that. So there's a real guidance in
That's
there.
beautiful. I love that. Just having different levels and you know what? I think we need to copy that. Anyway,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so continue on.
Yeah, so that is why it feels safe, and I think that's why everybody trusts each other, because we are aligned with what are the values, um, and I don't know, there's something about when you choose to be in that community, you choose the knowing of that everybody holds the best intentions for you and
Yeah,
for themselves.
yeah,
And yeah, like you said, that integrity is there. Yeah.
yeah. To be, we're belaboring this point a little bit, but to be held by another person and the group that you're seen and that your value is noticed and that we want your further evolution. We hold you in the highest.
Yeah. It's
It
just
really,
beautiful.
it is a beautiful
Yeah.
model. And I think, instead of having, there's all kinds of spiritual groups and I mean, there's thousands of them in the world, and they're so big. But I think what we're moving towards are smaller and smaller, and that there has to be some level of discernment. Do you fit? And admittingly, this is where Gene Keys and human design comes in. You know,
Yeah.
do you fit in? Does your key fit into our lock or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, you can't be friends and family with everybody. The world is not created that way. You have subgroups, and you have to find your group, your tribe. That's
Yeah.
where your fractal, or yeah, your I don't know the word for it.
No,
But
I
there
get
is a
it.
lock and key for every
Yeah,
group.
and
It's like,
I
yeah,
was
your
seeing
subgroup.
like those motors spinning with the teeth you know, one spins this way and it spins the other this way. And that's what I was seeing, that all these small groups, they start vibrating and then they cause the other cog in the wheel and it causes this cog.
Yeah.
And then we're all spinning at just the right frequency. Okay,
Yeah.
so enough of that. Let's continue on with your journey and some experiences I think you might want to share.
Well, yeah, I was thinking of a funny one because it was on a Sunday morning, and I just eaten something, nothing special, and I got a little bit sick, and I was like, I'm gonna go lie down for a bit, and then I was listening to some music, and then somehow I started seeing colors because I wear this kind of the sleeping mask because the
Yeah.
dark, you know,
Yeah.
encourages the lucid dreaming. It has to be totally dark. And so I started seeing all these colors. So I was like, huh? I'm still seeing them. So I'm closing them. And I was like, yeah, just surrender and go with that flow. You know, what is this? I don't care. I love it. Even though I wasn't feeling very well. But I started seeing all of these things like, I don't know, everything just, oh, how the universe worked, how everything fitted in. Even my jinkies started swirling and making sense in a whole different way than I can do with my mind. And then the word samadhi came to me. I was like, what's that? So afterwards, I Googled samadhi.
Oh, you were in it.
That was my experience.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, I want to eat that again. What I ate that morning, but it doesn't work that way. So it was like this spontaneous moment. And then somewhere in the middle of that experience, I had to throw up. And then I was like, it was like my consciousness had left the body and I was throwing up and not feeling anything. And I was laughing to my husband, like, look at me, I'm throwing up and I'm not feeling anything. I'm just observing myself throwing up. And he was like, you're crazy.
Oh my God. Chills again. That was quite an awakening experience that as if you didn't know before, that just shows you you are not the body at all, you know, and that consciousness survives beyond the body. And you can be many places at once. You know, you weren't experiencing the body because your attention was fully focused over here, but had you can expand your attention. And I think that's the state of Turiya, the highest state, that where you're living in a samadhi, where your attention is equally distributed between physical self, you know, all the different 4 levels of consciousness, and you're experiencing it all at the same time. So yeah, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know where
I have another experience of that.
Yeah.
And then you brought me there.
Yeah.
It was with New Year's. It was like New Year's the year before. So not last 2 years, but the New Year's before. I was with friends and partying, and I sometimes use rapé. I don't know how it's called in English, but it's ash and tobacco from the jungle, from the ancestors. And I can show it. I just have one here, and you can use a tepi or somebody else can blow it into your nose, but you have a little, ash and tobacco mixes it, and then you put it on your hand and you do it in your little pipe, and then you blow it in. And you do both.
I see.
And what that does, it kind of quiets the mind. It tingles the nervous system in the head. It's a medicine, a plant medicine. And you just go inward, you know, it's just like, whoo. So everybody was drinking and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I just need my little moment. So I was taking some hape and I was sitting and breathing. And then everything, like I saw myself in my world, like in this bubble. And then this whole another bubble was the world around me. And I saw the unity in it. I saw the wholeness in the wholeness. Yeah. And I lay down at some point. So I was just laying there. My husband told me afterwards, laying there with this big smile because of all the lights and the beauty. And again, some kind of consciousness or opening up the veil was happening to me at that moment. Yeah. And I just cherish these moments because I never know when they're going to happen. It's not something I can pursue or I can force or anything like that. Yeah. No.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. And that stuff, I wonder if that stuff is available in the US. Is it legal?
Um,
I don't know. We'll have
yeah,
to
it
look
is
that
legal.
up.
It is legal.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, in
I
the
know.
US, it may not be. I don't know. It probably is.
I have an address somewhere in Bulgaria. I have an address in England, in
Maybe
the
try
UK,
it. Oh,
and I can buy it here in the Netherlands.
okay.
And if you really want to go for it yourself, you have to go to the jungle.
Okay. Well, we might, if you feel comfortable, and we might put some links to some of the whatever you mentioned. If you want to, we'll put some
Sure,
links in case people are interested.
sure. I'm not affiliated, but I love people to try it out. But I do have to say that it's you have to know how to do it, because if you just blow in your nose, you just choke because it gets into your lungs. You're just blowing ashes and tobacco.
And I would say it's probably like any other ceremonial experience.
It is a
You know,
ceremony. Yeah.
you have to have the right environment, the right
Yeah.
intention. The right
Yes.
intention did not have an intention, but to hold everything in the highest godly perspective you can. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so meet it with devotion and reverence.
Exactly, because it was brought to me in a ceremony.
Okay.
Like 3 years ago, I did an ayahuasca ceremony.
Oh,
I don't know how
oh,
much time
I'm
you've got
so,
left,
I
but
know, I know we have to look at the time. I want to make sure, I want to finish your story, but so you just kind of guide us, tell me when you're ready to cut it, but
oh, I have time. I
yeah.
have time.
Uh,
Yeah. So why did I go on an ayahuasca journey? Well, one member in my tribe um, is a shaman, or was a shaman. He's not doing it anymore because of a lot of when you work in that world, there are other stuff that come to you. You become
yeah.
like this portal, and it was like he said, the world is too much for me.
It got a
So
little messy. The whole
yeah,
ayahuasca people, the US, it hit the, and then it got dirty with some dark beings,
yes,
or
exactly.
bad intentions. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he was, working on his business, but he was really into being a shaman. And he also went to the jungle several times and learned the stuff real from the real people, so to speak. And so he was preparing me for a journey with him. But then at some point, I felt like it's taking too long. It was like for 8 months, I was waiting, before him to be ready. And I was like, I'm not in it for it anymore. But then somehow I got in contact with another shaman here in the Netherlands, who I didn't know was a shaman, because we had a call for something totally different. And then in 5 minutes at 11:11, I decided to do an ayahuasca journey with him and with a group. So, and like 2 weeks later, it was there, I was
Oh my
there.
gosh.
But I was prepared because of, the intention
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
And so I knew what an ayahuasca journey would bring. And I was like, I had, like you said, an intention with no intention. I was just like, show me what I need now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went in. It was for 2 days. And, you do the ceremonial thing to call in the ancestors from the north, the south, the west, the east, and the first cup I got was didn't do anything. I was just observing everybody, and then they said, who wants another round? Because it's kind of like a bar. The bar is open. It was so funny. It was beautiful. And they played music. They had space holders who played music and sang songs. And so I took my second drink, and I was like, oh, just wait, and I was lying there. And then at a moment I was like, I was seeing things, and the veil changed. My reality changed. I was like, oh, it's working. So I was like, okay, let's lie down, because I was a little bit afraid of, you hear the stories about throwing up and screaming and yelling. And he also warned us, like, okay, you can scream and you can yell, but please be conscious and aware that there are other people in the room. So if you can, try to hold it down. So so I went in, and I kind of asked, be gentle with me, because I'm afraid of throwing up. So please be gentle with me. So in the first round, I started laughing. The first message I got was, life is a cosmic joke.
Oh my
And I
God.
just laughed for an hour and I had to hold myself back like, oh my gosh, everybody's crying and screaming and I'm just laughing here. So, and then at one point, I had my third drink and I still hadn't thrown up. So the shaman said, who wants some rape? And I was like, yeah, sure, give me some.
Oh my God,
You
girl.
know, but I had a headache. I had a headache from like during the journey. And then he blew his rapé in my nose. And then I was like in a second, oh my gosh, where is a bucket? I threw up like crazy, but my headache was gone. So I felt it was a blockage that
Yeah,
was removed in that moment.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And yeah, the rest I can't even repeat what I saw, what I experienced. One important thing I do remember is that in one moment I was kind of standing next to Mother Ayahuasca, not for real, but you know, there are two voices, yourself and the other voice, but there's still your voice.
Yeah.
And I was loose again from the body, like you said. What I heard was, I am so proud of you. You have gone so far. I want to thank your body. I want to thank the body for all that you have done. So I started stroking myself and holding myself and caressing and thanking that it has done so well, that it has brought me so far. And then what also came to me, and I shared it there in the group, is that we don't feel each other. You know, do you ever touch yourself? Do you ever stroke yourself? Like how beautiful your body is. Do you appreciate your body?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a message that I'm bringing in here now. You know,
Wow.
it is the vessel. Without the vessel, there is no life. Without the vessel, you cannot see, hear, taste, smell, touch, hug other people, feel love, feel pain.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a beautiful message. We carry so much disdain for our bodies. It is truly tragic because every cell of our body hears it and feels it, and no wonder we're crumbling with illness and aging. And I'm sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. I hope you can't. It's good.
hi.
Happy to say hi. Yeah, so that's a really beautiful message, and I can see, you know, you're a result of loving the body. I mean, everything. Yeah, it's just beautiful message.
Yeah. And that's why maybe that's a good closure. That's why I want to bring beauty to the people, like you said in the beginning. I never thought of it that way, but it is the appreciation of life. And why don't we make it beautiful? Why should I not do my hair, do not do my makeup, do not wear a nice dress or have beautiful things around me? It's there. It's the appreciation of life. You are the only person that can make the choice to make your life beautiful. It is a choice.
It absolutely is. And, you know, why don't we choose it? It's, first of all, this is your passion. I mean, I know you do other things that we'll share later, but boy, Corrinda, if you ever thought this could be something for you to offer, you know, and because I love it, because it's such a beautiful message. And what was I going to say before? Yeah, you know, we don't choose beauty because for some reason we've hated ourselves. We don't feel like we deserve it. And, you know, I'm going to admit this on camera. I mean, most of the time I'm getting better. I'm getting better because of you and because of some other things. But most of the time I'm walking around in the ugliest, biggest old guy sweats and looking awful, like I don't care. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. You know, I'm just kind of one of those, funky, quirky, weird people that could care less, you know. But also there's an aspect of me that I didn't like myself so much that I didn't care, that the dark, dingy colors just felt more comfortable. Like putting on a bright yellow just was like, anyway.
Yeah, it's a good point, because I do feel because I recognize it when you just mention it. I had a moment that I did not feel I deserved certain things. So I would look at some clothing and I go like, oh, you don't deserve that because you're too fat or you're too this or that.
Right.
And at some point, I don't know even where, but I started seeing that I don't do my makeup and my hair for you or for other people. I
Yeah.
do it because I appreciate me. It's for me, it's like this canvas. I
Yeah, and
can
it's
create
fun.
myself every day. And
Yeah.
it makes me feel better because sometimes, mostly on Sunday, I feel like it's pajama day and I only wear my pajama and my hair is in a knot. I don't wear makeup and I do my zits and then you have like these red spots all over your face. And then I go like, yeah, but now I don't, I noticed that I lose my energy when I look into the mirror that way. So it makes me depressed to see myself that way.
Yeah.
So if somebody would do that every day, not appreciate their own being, it's no wonder you're going to dislike yourself.
Yeah. That, that is a whole collective energy that I think is going to take quite a while to heal. I mean, it starts with the individual, of course, but there's like this heavy overlord of how we're supposed to look, and all the media outlets, Twitter and what everybody looking perfect and a size 0 or -0,
I'm size 12, so
Yeah,
just
well, I'm a
well,
little bit,
14.
but can I just do something really crazy? I know this, you're probably going to go, why is she doing this on an interview? But
No, just do it. It's your show.
I'm going to show you. No, I can't. It's in my leggings. I decided I can't do it. Anyway, I'm
Do it. Come on.
I'm
Be
wearing some
brave.
really funky, beautiful artwork leggings from a friend of ours. You know who
Oh,
this person
yes.
is. And I didn't think I could wear them because of my chubby lower half. But I just want to say I'm daring to do it. Look at
Oh,
these
they're so
gorgeous things.
cool.
Anyway, look,
That makes you feel good, right? To wear those.
because they're fun and they're bright and
Yes.
they're colorful. And by the way, your paintings would be great on leggings. But the point
I
I'm
create
making,
t-shirts, so
the point I'm making is I'm doing it, and I'm
yeah,
trying, and I'm not going to worry so much that I have a tummy and a big butt or whatever.
exactly.
Who
It
cares?
doesn't matter.
And I care, but anyway.
Yeah, but I feel as long as you are healthy, because I have struggled like my whole life with weight.
Me too.
And when I was in Costa Rica this year, you know this because you were there on the call. I was there without makeup, in my bikini,
Absolutely
not in my
gorgeous skin. Oh,
shape, but
she
I
can never be
felt for
ugly.
but I felt for the first time that I just didn't care what other people think of me
Yeah.
because I love my body.
God.
It was so strange to experience, like really inside. We can talk about in our heads, right? I can say to myself, you are beautiful, and it doesn't matter. I'm just convincing myself. But for the first time this year, I'm 47, I really felt it. I really felt it.
Okay, and that brings me, we're going to segue, but it's important. You made a distinction, which I do all the time, is you can have the intellectual conviction and positive thinking, but like you said, until you realize it in the body, it's never going to be a reality. You can use all positive affirmations, but you have to, and how you receive those realizations, it's always a mystery. It's always a level of grace. But I think there has to be a level of letting go of trying to control everything with positive affirmations. You just have to let go. And the moment you let go, those realizations, whatever, will dawn in you.
Yeah.
And that was so one of my questions for you is all these experiences, and I know you've had many more profound ones. Of these experiences, which ones permanently altered your awareness, your reality, that really just shifted something in you? And so definitely the beauty one, which landed. Do you have a remembrance of when that landed, or what caused that realization to land in your body?
For this time, for like when in Costa Rica this
For
year?
just totally loving your body.
Well, it was only just this year, and before it was really a lot of deconditioning, like becoming aware of what other people say, what, like you said, what's out there on the media, and seeing the craziness of it. Like
Yeah.
the real world doesn't look that way. It's just like this, even less than 1% of the whole world that looks like the magazines.
Yeah.
And also seeing the beauty of differentiation, I don't know, it's just those little seeds in all those years of
Yeah.
becoming aware of the body, becoming aware of others, becoming aware of how all this in the program works,
Yes.
how,
And it's a
yeah,
process of letting go, letting
and
go,
then letting go, letting
Yeah.
go. Yeah, yeah.
And
But it
then
is
you,
little seeds. I
yeah,
can't say exactly how I came there, but I do believe that it starts with the mental,
yeah,
because you can
of course.
reprogram your own brain. It starts like the awareness, and
Right.
then somehow you see yourself doing it. So you're seeing yourself or hearing yourself saying nasty things about yourself, like I'm fat or I'm ugly or oh, my hair looks so. And then go like, why did I say that?
Yeah.
It's kind of became a response to yourself.
Right.
And then that's the first tweaking, when you
Yes.
catch yourself doing it.
Yes. Yes.
And then slowly, it just,
Absolutely. And whether you say it internally or you do it through your vibration, you say, no, no, not listening
no
to it.
more.
And it
Yeah.
takes away that magnetic pull that holds these thought forms in your field. And um, the less you think about them, then they gradually dissolve and go away. And it's beautiful. And that's what allows for the landing of your own knowingness to land in your body. Yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah, it
beautiful.
is an inner knowing what comes to you.
Yeah,
It's your truth, what comes to you. And I do believe that this is for everything in your life. When you come aware of your reactive or regressive response to things, to people, to situations, when you start catching yourself, when you say, I want to change my life, the first thing is you have to do, catch yourself or look backwards how you responded to something. And why did you respond this way or that way? What is it inside of you that made you react in a certain way? And
absolutely.
when you become aware of it and you go like, I now catch myself, even sometimes I just blurt something out and go like, oh, did I really say that?
Oh, yeah.
That was, this week I even had it. I was like, ooh, that still comes from this and this wound. It's so deep because, you go all down these layers and you think it's gone. And then somehow, but I caught it. I was like, oh, that was crazy. So I started laughing to my husband. Did you hear that? I said, did you hear that? It was my child self talking to you right now in this short sentence.
Yeah.
And that's when you keep on changing and changing.
Yeah. It's the awareness factor. And what is it? The observation, the split
Observation.
experiment. I can't remember. It's been so long. So, but
Yeah.
the moment you observe something, you've changed it. So you're absolutely
And
correct.
self-reflection,
Yeah.
self-reflection.
Yeah.
Have the braveness, the courage to take the responsibility for your own actions. Because
Yeah.
I do believe when you change your actions to your integrity, you change your outer world because other people will respond differently to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So are there any other experiences or let me ask you this. So how do you perceive, what is your inner knowing and perception of this reality that you're living in? Yeah, I know that's a big question, but and I don't mean with your physical eyes, just what is your knowing about, like, how do you view the world? I know it's a cosmic joke and you're laughing all the time, but yeah, how do
I
you
see the
experience
beauty of everything that is happening, even the war. I don't judge it,
it?
even the child molestations. And I'm there to say this. I know from my knowing it is the program. And that sounds silly, but it is the program. And the only thing we as an individual can do is be relaxed and alert. Is like, relax, don't worry, you can't change it. Why worry? The only thing you can change is your little surrounding and the people you're interact with. And if you do that, it will spread. But I also see that it is necessary for growth as humanity to
Mhm.
still have this war. It's crazy, but somehow something hasn't been resolved yet.
Absolutely.
Somebody hasn't been hurt yet, or I don't know. I have no explanation
Yeah.
for it, but
To-
there is a reason for everything. That's what my inner
Absolutely.
knowing says.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, for us to sit here and judge, I think there's a higher intelligence that knows a lot more.
Yeah.
So yeah, you stated it beautifully. Yeah, absolutely.
Without all the drama, there is no growth. There is no
Absolutely.
evolution. There is no expansion. I think we kind of need it.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
I don't
just,
like it, but yeah.
yeah, we don't like it. And we can feel all that empathy and sympathy for the people experiencing this. But as you know, we have to remember they didn't come in here unwillingly. In fact, I had an experience one time where I was with a bunch of souls, or witnessing a bunch of souls getting prepared to come in. It was like being behind the curtains of a play they were rehearsing, and they were so excited. This one was going, oh my God, I'm going to be in a war and I'm going to be shot in the head. And this one over here was doing that. They were so excited to experience this physical pain, and they were choosing it.
Yeah.
And that took away. So they're all choosing their roles, and they're quite aware of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, folks, for taking away from Corinda's story, but
No.
anyway.
This is relevant.
Okay, what else? What else do you want to share? Because I know we're getting close to time, and I want to make sure that.
Yeah, well, I feel we have so much we could discuss, not even about my life, but just us having these discussions. So I do feel like I already have given so much
I know.
of me.
Well,
Maybe they go like, it's enough.
okay, well, we'll kind of draw this to the close. So, Corinda, I know I feel like you're so freaking perfect, but I want to know, just to bring you back down to humanity and maybe relatable to the rest of us, what little thing still gets you? What, what emotion, what thought processes still gets you?
Yeah. It seems like I don't have them, but I do have them, and I'm even aware of them. That's even more, you're aware of them and you can't change it somehow, or you're still, that you have to take small steps to change it, and you want it now. And it has to do with, still finding out of how can I serve the world. Maybe I'm already doing it and I'm not seeing it, but like everyone wants to have a purpose in life and really wants to feel that they're contributing. At least I have, and I sometimes feel that I'm not contributing, but maybe I am with just being who I am on the mundane plane.
Absolutely.
Right, but we don't see that. And I still, like I said, that I still can see myself sometimes respond from that humanity wound, so to speak. Even if I have all this knowing, life is in the body, so my body still experiences these feelings and emotions from trauma or the experience that I chose. And even with, I have very solid friendships, but sometimes it does creep up to me like, am I still important to somebody? Are they still loving me? Am I being a good friend? And then I can, I feel my body respond to that. So I get like, I want to cry. And then I go like, everything. You don't have to cry. You know what this is. But my body still wants to cry. And then
Absolutely.
I just, okay, allow it. I'm feeling the emotions and just breathe through it and allow to feel the sadness. And then I hear myself saying, that's part of the human experience. Just feel, it's all right. Don't judge it. And I go like, sort of kind of spiritual monkeys in your head. like you don't have to feel this. Yes, but you do. You have a body, know.
So would you consider yourself, you're more of a repressive crying response person? Like, do you have like anger, jealousy, any of those? I don't know why.
Jealousy, I don't have anymore, only when I see that somebody is really how do you say that, has the wrong intentions, then my thing goes off. And I become like a lion, maybe somehow protecting,
Yeah.
but no, I don't have no reason to be jealous. I get angry, not as much, but if people come with anger to me, I become twice as big.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know what it is, but I'm with a gracious way. So I'm just making myself taller and bigger
Yeah.
to level out the energy, maybe somehow.
No, that anger is an absolutely appropriate universal energy, and you're protecting your boundaries. And so, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Absolutely
but it is
perfect.
sometimes hard to have all this knowledge and wisdom and then still do the mundane thing with relationships. Because
Absolutely.
I already know all these things, but the other people might not be aware of it.
Right.
So my knowingness says, don't respond, don't react, don't do anything. And then my body gives this life, I have to respond. But because of the awareness, I can respond with integrity, with graciousness, with understanding, and way better than before. So it makes it easier. It makes it easier. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Do you have any kind of like life motto, advice, like one thing that you live by, or something that you would like to share with others? Or
There's one thing that came to me at a bright moment, and I wrote it down, and a beautiful friend of mine in Brazil created like a post of it, and it was something that I shared in another community, and it was the quote: "If we all share, all we've got left is abundance."
That's so beautiful and perfect.
Yeah, I like a good life, but I like to give it back. And if we all do that,
Yeah,
we can have it all. We can. If we just let go of the fear of, oh, I'm afraid I'm not going to get anything.
yeah.
I'm not getting the attention. I need to grab it myself. No, you don't. Just ask for it. And yeah.
And I think I felt in what you were saying, what we all share is something that we already have.
Right.
It's not something that we have to develop or go to see a little. It's a gift that you already have, and in fact are probably already doing, and you don't recognize it as your gift or your sharing.
Yeah.
But
it's sharing even from a space that you don't want anything back. You're just sharing from your overflowing cup.
Absolutely. And that could be helping a neighbor, mowing their lawn. It could be so simple, but I think until you I don't even know if there needs a recognition, but until you recognize that you're doing it from a space of giving and love because it's just who you are, it almost goes unnoticed by the collective. You know what I mean? To consciously give in an unintentional way. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I think you get what I'm saying. Like, we do these things and we're helping neighbors and we don't recognize, we just think we're doing it, and we still have this self-doubt, we're not giving. But as soon as somebody says, no, that is your giving, that is your sharing to the world, and then it changes the frequency of your giving, and you actually recognize yourself, and it is feeling more giving in abundance. I don't know, it just changes the frequency.
Yeah, and it can even be as simple, because I'm not mowing anybody's lawn.
Well, I know, but I had to pull something on.
No, but it can be as simple, and maybe it's because of how I felt when I was younger, maybe not, but I'm just thinking of it, is just to give somebody a smile on the street. Like, 100%. I see you.
Yeah. Yes.
And it doesn't cost anything. And it comes from me being happy with me.
Yeah.
And I'm giving the smile because I want you to take a little of that happiness of me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, so
Or
beautiful.
even a little compliment, in the stores that we have, if somebody wears nice shoes or has, like, you see that their hair is different, or they have something,
Yeah,
you can say, oh, you did your hair, how beautiful, even
yeah.
if you don't know the person.
Yeah, these are the little things that we've done
Yeah,
our whole life. And admittingly, we do them in response to our own wounds of perhaps needing recognition, needing to be seen, needing confirmation, whatever it is, it doesn't matter because your wounds are your gift. And you don't even know that these are your gifts because you just think, well, that's just how I am.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that amness, that I amness is your true essence.
yeah.
Yeah, when somebody, oh, that just hit me. So when somebody says, that's just how I am, that's your true essence. Forget about everything else.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Well, look, yeah, I know we're running out of time. We're
Yeah.
way over. Um, is there anything, Corrinda, you want to share any services? I know she does so much, but I know that you work with individual people and she gives like her all. Would you like to mention anything? We'll put some.
Yeah, sure. If you like me to,
Yeah, please.
I work with the human design and gene keys, but I do it whole differently than most of the human design wisdom keepers. I don't know how to express it, but what I do is I create a book of your whole profile, which will be like over 100 pages, really all in depth and detail, all your details, also some, reflective questions and, little tools inside of them, because I feel, and this came because of my experience. I had a reading when I first got into human design, and you get this reading and then it's gone. It's like this, you have this hour and then it's gone, and you go like, what did they share? What did they
I
share
know, and
with
I
this
hate
hour?
listening to recordings. I know.
Yeah. So I wanted to give something lasting, when you buy a TV, you get this little booklet of how the TV works. So I'm creating your little booklet, your life's book, which says it all, where you can go back to if you feel like, okay, I don't know it anymore, why did this happen, or what do I need to work on because I need to change this. You go back to your book and go like, oh, I need to work on this or on that. And I do that in service for the first time, the book, and one session with me, in this case in Zoom. Otherwise, in the Netherlands, they can come to my office, and you can get your questions answered, also my intuitive answers, because somehow I just go straight to the point, to the pinpoint where your real pain is, or the thing that you need to work on now.
Yeah.
And we can broaden that with breathing or even some HP session or whatever, but mostly it is one session with guidance, and then your book, and then afterwards we can go into what are your needs and what do you want to work on now.
Wow.
And I love creating these books because this is a outlet
I
for
know
me,
she does,
my
but I know
creativity.
it will be so detailed and so perfect. You would love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a fabulous offer. Yeah, sorry, I probably cut you off. I didn't mean to.
No. No problem. Yeah, it's I don't make any, I do a little bit on YouTube. I have my own YouTube channel, and I share interviews that I do for Unlock Your Design.
Yes.
But mostly I do no marketing, because I somehow trust that the people who need my guidance and not my frequency and my talents, my gifts, they will come.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. She definitely doesn't market herself. And just to unlock your design, explain what that is, and maybe what the videos that you have up there are about.
Unlock Your Design is our two ladies who are bridging the gap between these two systems, and like me have the passion to bring this knowledge and wisdom of the self, who you truly are, how your body is functioning, how your consciousness is functioning, your mind, and how these two work together. They bring that in such a beautiful way, and they have this beautiful community where we can have conversations about, what are you still struggling with, or what is your shadow, and how do you perceive this, and beautiful.
Yeah, and you're a contributor. I mean, you're part.
Yes.
You're a teacher there, or a contributor, and and we'll be hosting other things. But you also do these, and the two systems are Gene Keys and Human Design that are integrated. And then you make these videos with students or
no, just people from the community.
Okay.
I kind of throw the invitation out of, we would like to discuss this gate or this gene key, this door, this archetype. Do you have it in your profile? Because I do feel when we share our experiences, our real lived wisdom. So how does this archetype show up in your world? How does it express itself? It makes it more real for me than just reading the information about a gene key, a door, or an archetype. Because we are a mix of all these archetypes and all the other stuff, how we are built. The expression can be different for me than for you. We could have the same gate, door, archetype, but for you, it expresses it in this way. And for me, it expresses it like this. And when we share this lived wisdom, our experience, other people can watch and can relate to it, go like, oh, so that is what it means for me. They can have that recognition. And I also feel what I have experienced with these interviews that I do for the Archetype Akasha Library is that it gives a voice to the people.
Absolutely.
Like you are doing now, you're giving me a voice.
Yeah.
And I feel there is a need for people to be heard and to be seen. So I also feel that there is some kind of a healing, even if you can call it a healing, I don't know another word for it, but they are so grateful afterwards with the interview because they have felt like they could release all that they were holding inside.
This is who it's so beautiful. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. We need more of that. So, you don't have to, if you go to her channel, you're like, you don't have to watch, and you definitely won't resonate with all the videos. There's going to be a particular gene key or gate or cross or something that you have, and you're going to tune into that particular one. You're going to go, okay, how do these people experience it? And you're going to go, oh yeah, me too. It is so healing to be seen, to be confirmed. But I love the fact that you're just opening the invitation, and whoever shows up, and they're just ordinary, and I say unpolished in a nice way, just ordinary people showing up and saying, this is how this stuff works in my life, pretty or not, and they're
and how they deal with it.
Real stories,
because we're all dealing with the same stuff, right? Life is life. So some way or another, it will come into your life, and seeing that other people, maybe you're just in the middle of things and you go like, oh, am I ever gonna get out of this? And then you watch somebody's story and you go like, they prevailed, they got this, and it gives encouragement and empowerment.
Well, I think your story is absolutely going to provide that for many people. I know we've got to go. You've got to go. She's got other calls to be on. She's a very busy lady, folks. So I'm honored that she fit me into her schedule.
You're so
anyway, this was so beautiful, Corrinda. I learned so much about you. I'm in awe of you. We'll talk more later privately, but I love you. You're beautiful. And wow is all I can say. You are quite a light on this planet. You're an inspiration to me. And I know if you're seeing things fly around, I think it's, our cat hair. I don't know what else is flowing. I don't know why it's flying around. I'm a
maybe little spirits.
Anyway,
thank you. I want to thank you too, Kat, for this opportunity. Because it's maybe it doesn't look this way, but it is strange for me to share myself and to see myself as valuable. Absolutely. With my experiences. So thank you for that opportunity. And you're such an amazing person yourself. So
thank you.
Love you right back at you.
All right. Okay. So thank you everyone for watching. And I will provide me the links that you wish to provide me. I'm going to just stop sharing. We'll remain here. Stop recording. Okay. Bye everyone. Until next time.